Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Press Start podcast. Press Start Australia's weekly video game discussion podcast. I'm your host, James, joined today by my fellow gamers and co-hosts, Shannon.
Hello there.
Brody.
Hello.
And Ewan.
Hello.
What is funny already?
Brody said hello like he wasn't sure where he was.
Oh, okay. Well,
Am I in Australia? Am I in Australia? I don't know. The man's moved into the country.
Yeah, we're moving. We're relocating. So on to the show today, we're going to discuss a familiar look for the newest Zelda game, delays for yet another potential Game Pass tentpole, and a new and local loyalty program for a specialty retailer. But before we start, I figured we couldn't not talk about this. I really didn't want to, but Ewan's here. I feel like I have to throw him a bone. The teaser trailer dropped for Last of Us Season 2 this week. So we've seen... It has lots of scenes, which is great. And
like any good TV show.
yeah, absolutely. I was surprised to see What's-Her-Face from... Schitt's Creek in it. I didn't know. Was that previously announced?
We did speak about that. I think it had
Catherine
been.
O'Hara?
We still don't know who she is or what she's
The mum
doing.
from Home Alone.
Yeah,
right.
the mum from Home Alone. Yeah,
Famously.
Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. But yeah. Anyway, what do we think? Ewan, go. This is your well and truly up your street, as you say.
Obviously, I'm really excited about this. I thought this was a great kind of teaser to kind of touch on the decisions Joel made in the first season or the first game, depending, I guess, which way you're coming at it. I was amazed just how much they kind of revealed in this, or like how much we saw in this teaser. Like to see flashes of the scars and stuff, like that felt like it was going to be so much further away. And also, there's just like way more seemingly shot than I thought there would be. Like it seemed... It's only like a month ago they were going into production, and suddenly there's all this footage, and people are even talking about it maybe kind of coming out early 2025, like possibly the sort of January again even, which just seems really soon. But I'm excited for that element. Seeing shots like Abby kind of crawling under the fence as there's kind of stalkers and stuff like all over her, or infected all over, like that was really cool and obviously gets me excited for what's to come. But I guess we should steer clear of spoilers for those that have somehow listening to this.
There are people who don't know. There's There
are. I was chatting to someone in the office when it dropped who were like, they think that Joel is going to go bad in this
like more bad
season. Just like bad. I don't know. They think he's going to be the villain, which I guess you could look at it that way.
I mean, that's what I just love about the TV series in general, is it's bringing this whole new group of fans into this world, this universe.
I don't know if I'd be able to stop myself from just Googling, though, or like just watching it on YouTube. Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's the same for books, though. You're not really running out to see what happens.
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
No.
No. Okay. Don't worry. Never mind. Well, what about It? You're a big It fan. Did you familiarize yourself with the book?
No.
Oh, you're not anymore? Cancelled?
I am a big fan. I didn't go out to find the book, no.
I see the point that you're making.
Maybe, yeah.
Already, yeah.
I think it looks really good. I feel like it gives an interesting framework of what we're sort of working with for the show. Like, we were all sort of speculating what the second season, I should say, like, might encompass of the second game. And, like, to Ewan's point, I think they showed more than I would have expected. Like, I kind of imagined the first season of the second game, basically finishing with that cliffhanger that we're probably all expecting. But it seems like they may go more in line with the game and sort of push past that. And, like, as you said, get to the Seraphites and stuff like that. Because we see Jeffrey Wright as Isaac?
Yeah.
Yeah, as well. So, I mean...
Yeah. I'm trying to remember when we see Isaac in the course of the part 2 of the game.
When you hear about him, but I think the second half of the game.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, God, we really do have to be careful, don't we? So the second half of the game, I wonder if that's going to be Season 3. Like, I wonder if Season 2 ends at that same kind of, like, midway point.
You reckon they go up to the theatre, so to speak?
Yeah, the theatre. Yeah.
Well, Lev and the other one, I don't think are cast in this, are they? Or I might just be misspeaking.
Who's the other one?
I don't know the other one's name. Levin. What's the other one's name? I can't remember now.
Yeah, I'm forgetting.
Yara.
Yara.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't think they've
sure.
been cast in this, so
I think
That would make
point.
sense then, right?
I don't know why they wouldn't
more,
get the same actor, to be honest.
And this is
maybe
the tricky thing.
I thought they had
Maybe
got the
they
same actor
did.
for some reason.
Yeah,
I
maybe
don't
they
know.
did.
Maybe that was a fan casting thing. I don't know. It's hard to keep it straight, but either way, Pedro Pascal doing some damn acting in that teaser. Doing some damn acting.
Yeah.
That man can roll a tear.
My concern still remains that I don't think Bella Ramsey's kind of like aged up enough yet for like where
They've cast a
is in
relatively
part
young
two.
Dina too, by the looks of things, though. So maybe they're just
so I wonder if they're just not going to
scaling
make
it
it as
down.
big a time skip. But I sort of feel
Yeah,
like
it could
the
just
fact
be
that
straight
she's,
after
like,
or like the year after. She's
Yeah.
grown
They can-
as a person.
they can play
and
with that.
Weathered.
Yeah,
I think
just
she's
feel
still-
like it was such a
she's still a good actor.
selling point to those characters though in part two that like this time had passed and the relationship had kind of grown stronger and so much had gone unsaid and all of this because it's like 5 years or something, isn't it? Between
It's a good question.
yeah, I don't know what they're
Maybe
gonna do.
not in this.
Yeah,
Maybe they won't.
Maybe it's been 2 or 3. A lot can happen in that time.
I think it'll be fine.
I suppose.
I think it's just looking at it from our angle, which is, and especially you, and you're probably the biggest fan we all know of the series, so you're going to scrutinize it more than most, I
I
think.
mean, I love the first season. If they just kind of keep with that trajectory, add some new stuff, shake it up a little bit here and there, like I think I'm going to be pretty receptive
Yeah.
to that.
I loved the party scene, which I've just seen all over my Twitter feed, like one to one with the game. Yeah, with
Oh,
the
I-
string
with the
lights and
kind of above and stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, James is going to say something controversial, I feel.
No, I'm not. I just think, like, do we feel like, is there any thoughts at all about the potential for this to, I guess, explore new territory in this world rather than
Just
say,
retell the games
literally creating
one-for-one.
a one-to-one scene? Like I thought
Yeah.
there
Well, they
was
sort
like
of
it
quite.
was one to one.
They sort of did with the first season, didn't they? Like, they explored,
Yeah.
like, Melanie... What's her name? That actress?
Yeah.
From
The
Yellow
Bill and
Jackets.
the Frank
Zelensky.
scene, which
The
was
Bill and the
totally
Yeah,
different.
it's like
then, so
they explored her character and that side of things from, like, the
Yeah.
other coast and everything. So I feel like there is potential. I think maybe once they catch up to the games and there's no third game, they might spin off in a direction
Even-
like that, perhaps. But
Even in this teaser, though, right? Like, they the kind of character, the woman that he's speaking to, like, she's not from part two, so that tells me that there's going to be some.
I know what you
differences.
mean, though, James. I think I said in my review that like the parts that weren't from the game and like it expanded on other areas, like some of my favorites from the first series. So it would be
Yeah.
nice, but I guess you can't go rewriting what we know or like
It probably
adding
will
to
be a
it too
good
much
mix, though. Yeah.
I think so. There's more in this season with what happens to sort of delve into other things, I think.
I hope we get, like, a bit more of the Seraphites and stuff as well, because I think that's an
Yeah.
interesting
They
angle
introduce
of-
so much lore in the second, like even the kind of WLF, and there's the uprising in this city that kind of Ellie like learns about. Like, yeah, I reckon there's kind of offshoots and characters they could kind of explore further. Maybe even like maybe they kind of delay a third or fourth season by kind of doing like a spin-off series of some kind, exploring some different characters. That like The Walking Dead did a lot of that. I hope it's doesn't. I hope that's where the comparisons to The Walking Dead end. But they could all too easily do that sort of thing.
How do you feel about Abby?
I don't think we've really seen enough yet. Like, there's only a couple of glimpses of her in this trailer.
What's the actress from?
All I know is she was in that movie with the UFOs. That's like that. What was it called? No. 2
Independence
seconds.
Day.
Let me
No,
remind
no one,
myself,
no
yes.
one will
There you go.
save you. That's
Oh.
what I've seen her in. And
Yeah.
she was also in Dear Evan Hansen. All these like weird Shannon.
What's her name?
Netflix
Is it
movies.
Caitlin Dever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't say I've seen her. I don't think I've watched anything that she's been in.
Yeah.
But that
Everyone-
that being
everyone
said,
was
they're cast
fan
really
casting
well
her
for all
and-
of this.
yeah.
So I think it makes
Everyone
sense.
was saying that she would be a
Has
good
she
fit,
bulked
so-
up? Is she?
Hard to tell.
Does
She
she
was
have
wearing the
biceps?
jacket under the
Yeah.
chain link fence. I guess we'll find out.
Because that's a
They might
big
just-
part.
They
of
might
what
just
makes Abby
CGI
so
some
strong.
egregious muscles onto her.
Yeah. I'm
Maybe
excited.
it's
I
CG
don't-
biceps.
CG.
I don't
abs,
think
yeah.
they're going to go wrong with this. It's definitely going to deliver.
I'm excited to see what people think of things.
Yeah.
Like that they're not
Yeah.
expecting, which is cool.
The internet's
Which has
reaction
always been
is
my
gonna
favorite
be
thing about Last of Us 2.
nuts. Yeah.
Do we
Yeah.
think like it'll be like episode 2 or 3 that this happens, or will they get to it in the first ep?
You mean the at the moment.
Just yeah, true. Maybe
I don't know.
maybe
Yes,
we shouldn't
no,
have said
I
that.
don't want to say
Okay.
it. People, but that
Second
everyone
it.
surely was
Second it.
listening to
But
this.
it's also
has
that
this-
yeah,
has-
the game's been
I don't
out.
know.
I feel like it is
Like,
fair.
It's a gaming podcast, right? I don't know, but we went, no, let's not
We
talk
had
about
it,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone knows what we're talking about, though. Like, if you know, you know, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be the first episode. I feel like
I think it will.
Controversial.
I almost feel like to have that
I think it's the
premiere
end.
effect at the end of it,
Yeah.
you have to.
I think it's
do
the
it
end
that
of the
way.
first
I reckon
episode.
they'll do. I reckon
That's
they'll
my
do a.
prediction.
I reckon they'll do a
right-
double. They'll do a double pilot, like a double first episode, and it'll
Yeah.
be the end of the second episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my sort of feeling. Or it'll be like teased at the end of the first, and then it's kind of the opening scene of the second, or something. I don't know.
Tease it.
Do you guys remember there was
Yeah,
like,
how do you tease it?
Again, I'm
What do you
drawing
mean,
another
like-
comparison to like maybe it ends like in the shadow or something. I don't know.
On the
That's
back,
not-
on the backswing.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, it is Ewan here in the middle of the podcast edit, and at this point, we are avoiding spoilers for The Last of Us Part 2 and the second season of the show. But I totally go on to spoil it by making reference to The Walking Dead and also spoiling The Walking Dead. So if you care about either of those things, and spoilers for either of those shows and or the second game, maybe don't listen to the next like 30 seconds of this, skip through to the next section, and you'll be fine. My bad, I'm sorry.
Do you remember when The Walking Dead killed?
Glenn.
Do we care about Walking Dead?
Oh shit!
Another comparison to The Walking Dead. When The Walking Dead killed Glenn, like that was a really controversial thing. A, because like how it was done,
visceral.
but also it was like the opening scene after like a big cliffhanger from the previous season.
Yeah.
And a lot of people never went back to the show after that. That was enough. So I think they'll be mindful of that and want to avoid doing that with The Last of Us.
Anyway, yes.
Anyway, since we've basically ruined it anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
Overnight, Nintendo have dropped a new 6-minute trailer for the new Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom game. The footage confirms a whole bunch for the game, including a lot of, like, I guess, firsts for 2D Zeldas, that you can ride a horse, which I know that sounds, like, really pathetic and simple, but, like, it's never been in a 2D Zelda before. There's main quests, side quests, you'll encounter all of the factions from, like, the classic Zelda games, and a new ability called Bind, which kind of looks like, Ultra Hand from, Breath of the Wild. Which is kind of, like, keeping in line with this game basically being, you know, Tears of the Kingdom sensibilities, like, transposed into a 2D Zelda game. So yeah, I thought this trailer was quite good. I wouldn't call it a trailer. I guess it's more of like a mini deep dive, if that's even like a mid-level dive, whatever the word is between deep and shallow. But yeah, like, is everyone? I guess want to get like a hype check on this one with all of us. Are we keen? Not interested? What's the go?
I'm keen. I think it looks fantastic. The fact that it's out next month is the most exciting thing. Like, to think that we only found out about this, a month ago, and it's the first
June
game
or
we can
July.
play as Zelda, and now it's out very soon. I think it looks great. It builds on. I always forget the other 2D link to the link between Link's Awakening. Yeah, it sort of builds on that, and as you touched on, like, it's got a lot of Tears of the Kingdom sensibilities. And whilst I'm sure Brody will touch on how he feels about sort of the design, which hasn't, like, it does look almost one for one from that. I think some of the stuff they're doing and the horsey are just really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, the more I consider this probably looks more like a Zelda game I would play. Like, I always found like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom to be a bit much, and I feel like this might be more to my more casual sensibilities,
I
perhaps.
quote, "End of life
But-
waste" is what he said before the podcast started.
But from a non-Zelda fan coming in and just looking at this overview, like, I don't know, I just don't get the fuss, to be honest. Like, it does look like a game, like, blowing it up on the monitor of the trailer. It doesn't look great to me. Like, yeah, I don't know. To use your term of what I said, yes, it definitely looks like an end of life cycle sort of game to me. And, like, I don't like the world design. It's so boxy and square. I don't know. It doesn't do a lot for me.
It could pass as like an indie game, and like if it wasn't a Zelda game, maybe people wouldn't think twice about it. But I guess you could say that for a lot of games as well.
Yeah,
Could you?
I might
for
agree
a lot of
with you,
$70
Brody,
games.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, could you say that though for a lot of
I
games
think
charging
so.
$68? I think we should expect more from
with you,
Nintendo.
I think, Brody, that like if you're not a Zelda fan, I don't think you'd watch this trailer and go, "Oh, this game is actually speaking to me," whereas no other Zelda game has. That being said, like maybe if you're kind of into your cozy games or like your Animal Crossing, maybe this art style kind of does appeal to you, and maybe like by way of it focusing more on the puzzles rather than out and out combat, it maybe speaks to people that have otherwise not taking much interest in the Zelda title. For me, like it reminds me a lot of Phantom Hourglass, which was kind of one of the first Zelda games I spent meaningful time with. And I've found myself kind of in the mood for something like that. I think like as good as Tears of the Kingdom was, like it's just kind of a beast. There's like so much to do. It's a little bit overwhelming. And this kind of just feels a bit more stripped back, a bit more emphasis on the puzzle solving, that kind of thing, albeit still with some of the quirks that Tears of the Kingdom introduced. So I'm excited to kind of tackle those, I think, and hopefully it's got some good dungeons.
I agree. I agree in terms of like I hope there's good dungeons too. Like that's always what I've kind of wanted from Zelda. I don't know if like I think from a gameplay perspective, I think this is looking pretty like it's not going to be as big a jump because we've had Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild already. But just like even the little things in the old trailer where you know like because you can literally pick up any item in this world, right? And create an echo of it anywhere else. And like Zelda in the trailer, like she creates like a column of water from picking up water elsewhere and uses that to like get to the top of a cliff rather than say creating a stack of boxes, which you can also do. Like, I feel like there's a lot of like, you can be really creative with it, which I think is really cool. And I think that's where like, yes, this game doesn't look that good in terms of, I mean, I would say artistically it doesn't look as good as Tears of the Kingdom, but like from a technical perspective, obviously it's not the best looking game. But I think Nintendo has always made up for that with really strong gameplay conventions and strong puzzle design and really intuitive like puzzle design. So yeah, my concern is like I don't want it to be as big as Tears, and I don't think it will be, and I think you're right, like it's going to be a lot more scaled back in that way. But then it does get to that kind of where Tears of the Kingdom kind of faltered for some, where if you kind of create this solution in your head, you can almost use it everywhere. Like a lot of people made that hover bike in Tears of the Kingdom, right? And that kind of trivialized a lot of the design. So it almost gave too much freedom to the player. So I'm kind of interested to see how they counter that in a smaller world, because it does look smaller. Yeah, but I think this is still going to have
Kingdom, I feel like I hacked whole temples by like just doing stuff kind of like stacking excessively and then just ascending all my way up, that kind of thing. Maybe just by focusing in the bind and the unbond mechanics, I think they're called in this. Like it'll
unbind.
Just be unbind.
It's bind and unbind.
This was a conversation the Kind of Funny guys had this morning. I thought I had clarified this.
Oh right.
That might just kind of hone it in a little bit more, that the design holds up a little bit better. That being said, I'm glad I watched this breakdown, because I feel like things like summoning the horse by just spawning a carrot I hope the game kind of tells you how to do those things, but Tears of the Kingdom kind of didn't. It very much left you to your own devices, and I feel like if it's just kind of most reliance on solving puzzles, and I'm gonna have to use my big old brain without really like being taught these things, I'm gonna struggle.
Yeah, I think it does look very intuitive in the way that you do combat and stuff. Like I still think it will have like a big combat element, just different, right? Because it's not just Zelda with a sword. Like she can summon shit to go do battle for her or whatever.
Yeah.
My other question I thought I was gonna have was like, do we think that this looking visually similar to Link's Awakening is doing the game a disservice at all? Because I feel like a lot of people
you could
might
say
have
the
just
same
come off
about like
Tears of the Kingdom and then and now they see this.
You could say the same about Tears of the Kingdom, which we did probably speak about at the time. Because I think playing as Zelda is like the big selling point. I think this 6-minute trailer, whatever we're calling it, deep dive, like did more to, quell that and sort of show us what it was and what it did differently. I think it's fine.
Is there anything you would say is kind of majorly visually distinctive, kind of looking at this compared to Link's Awakening, or is it kind of one for one?
The art style and just
it's
the
pretty much the same
design.
Like it looks the same, like a lot of it is new in terms of you didn't see the Zora or the Gorons or whatever in Link's Awakening,
sure,
but it is the same art style, like
I mean, I haven't played Link's Awakening, so I wasn't sure how similar it was. But
it's literally the same.
The look of the game really doesn't upset me in any sort of way. I think it looks quite cool. Hopefully, it runs fine on the Switch, which I'm sure is increasingly a factor in producing these games. I'm dead excited to get my hands on it. It's pre-ordered.
Me too, Ewan. Me too. Anyway, moving on. While Zelda is out next month, this game is now out next year. So, Avowed has been officially pushed back from a much-rumoured November release date to February 2025. Xbox have insisted that development is still going along fine, but they would just like to better space out the releases for the year and give Avowed a bigger chance to hit as hard as possible with a wider audience. So my first question for everybody is how do you feel Xbox's 2024 looks now? Brody.
I think still good. When you consider the stuff we know about with dates, you've got Flight Sim, Stalker, granted it's not first party, but it's a big Game Pass release, Indie coming, COD, we're sort of running out of runway to fit all these games in. So I think one did have to give, ultimately. It's a shame it's Avowed, because it's probably the one I'm most keen to play, but again, I think there's benefit in giving it that room in February where there's probably not going to be as much competition and as much eyeballs on other things. So I think this was a problem that Xbox is always going to be now bound to have. It's going to be a juggling act with as many studios and IP under their belt now. So I think as they sort of work through it, they'll get into a groove, but they've got a lot of shit to jam into this year now. So I think it's still
to
good.
that point as well, it's for them, it's about keeping people subscribed to Game Pass, right? So trying to spread out your releases so that you don't have 5 this year and none next year, which we have seen happen.
It's surprising that it's Avowed though, considering we've seen far less of Indie's gameplay and have got far less indication about how that game is traveling.
Was going to be my next point. If that one moves, then I think it's a whole different conversation. So you'd think that isn't going to happen. You'd have to be pretty confident. Or you wouldn't make the claim of too many games, we're moving it.
Yeah. If anything, I think that maybe confirms, or soft confirms at least, that Indie might be definitely this year. But again, it's a matter of where. Are you going to jam that into November as well, or is it early December maybe? Put it into that Avatar spot?
The scary
rumor was December.
Yeah.
Yeah. The scary thing for Avowed is I think the start of next year is going to be really busy, just historically and knowing what's coming and potentially the new Switch. It could get gobbled up, which is
I did check.
Worrying.
So far,
get gobbled up by me.
Oh well. If only that was the only metric of success, Brody.
Devolver would be president.
There'd be a winner on this podcast at least.
So February, we have Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Ultimate, Dragonkin The Banished, and Sea Fantasy.
So, these classic titles.
It's a big one.
But that I feel like we're going to have
No,
a
I know.
PlayStation
There might be
game.
something. I reckon I've got a feeling maybe Monster Hunter might even sneak in there, potentially.
Could do.
Yeah.
Who knows? I think we'll see more on topic, kind of. Not really. I think indie you'll see a lot more at Gamescom, and I think December will be the thing for that. Don't you?
When's has D23 already been? Or is that this week?
This week.
Now it's this weekend, yeah.
We could see even India at D23, who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Point,
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we, the other thing, the other thing I've kind of thought about was Dragon Age: The Vanguard is probably launching around there as well. Do we think that is a strategic choice too?
To get out of its way? Probably, yeah, probably to a degree. I mean, it's, you want to... With an IP as big as Dragon Age, like, granted, obviously Obsidian are a great studio, but Avowed doesn't, like, and the Pillars of Eternity, I think Universe probably doesn't have the same cachet, and won't have the same amount of eyeballs on it. So, I think it's probably, whether it's related, I think it's still a smart move.
The other thing I was going to say is with Game Pass, do you think it matters that... Does it even matter if a game doesn't hit straight away? Like, it's more about bolstering the library, right?
Yeah, and like to Shannon's point,
Or not.
It's also about keeping people... You got to keep dangling the carrot in front of them to the next release. So as long as they say, oh, if I subscribe for another month, I'll get Avowed next month, and then the month after, I might get South of Midnight, and so forth and so forth. And it's just keeping that, carrot in front of my thing.
To that point, if there are 5 other games that are coming out at that time, like, it doesn't really matter, because it doesn't matter if they're playing at day one. I do still feel like you have like a day one. Like, day one is the best chance to get an audience in that first week, and like obviously things can happen post that. Not so much for single player games though, I don't think.
Yeah, I sort of feel like if you don't give it a good opportunity to succeed right off the bat, then it's like, how long do you kind of leave it and kind of keep supporting the game before you go, okay, cool, like this has kind of found its audience now. And I think it makes sense to get out of the way of Dragon Age as well, because like these are going to speak to the same sort of audience, you would assume. And so rather than kind of going toe to toe and picking that fight, why not just kind of spread them out and hope that you can, get 2 winners out of it? Not that they would have much interest in Dragon Age succeeding, I'm sure, but...
Well, I think they got marketing deals with it, don't they? Xbox.
Oh, do they? Okay, well, maybe they do. But all the same, I think like it benefits both to just kind of spread them out. Yeah.
How do you come down on a Jamsy?
I'm concerned for indie at this point, though. I would be surprised if it comes out December. I sort of feel like a delay is still on the cards for that game.
It's always on the cards, but...
Yeah.
I feel like machine games don't traditionally show a lot of their games before they come out. That might just be me misremembering, but I feel like their previews are quite...
Full stop.
Yeah, true. So that might play a part of it.
I remember New Colossus was one of the big games that Bethesda had at Gamescom. One of the years I went, it was one of the big feature games. I can't remember.
And we know it's not playable at Gamescom to the public, at least.
Yeah,
so.
there could be some behind closed doors shenanigans going on there, I reckon.
Yeah.
For indie.
I
we'll
just
never
sort
know.
of feel that I sort of feel though like their year is probably big enough. Like you could, even if the game is ready and there was more excitement about it than I feel there is. Like I feel like you could just push it into 2025 and rely on what's otherwise coming out this year to carry you over. I don't know. Maybe there's
Age
kind
of Mythology.
too much emphasis on the kind of Activision Blizzard games kind of falling into Game Pass, but yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if it did. I don't know. That would be bad for them if they delayed Indiana as well, I think, from an optics point of view. And I don't think Xbox needs an opportunity to pile on.
I think it's also all built around this assumption that everyone's going to be playing COD. And, like, that's not the case. That's not the case, right? Like,
and COD's existed in that period every year for the last 20 years as well. Like, it's not a new thing.
Not on Game Pass, it hasn't, baby.
Yeah, doesn't anyway.
That's going to move the needle.
That's not.
Subscribers through the roof.
That was a real Kelly Osbourne moment for you, Brody.
Is that a reference I meant to understand?
Yeah,
no, I'll show you. I'll show you later when you're older.
Okay.
No, but I don't know. I think this sucks for me personally. Like I was really looking. I like Brody. I was really looking forward to Avowed. I think it was my big Game Pass tentpole this year. I'm keen to see what Obsidian does. I feel like they don't really do much bad shit, if any. So yeah, like that kind of sucks. But if it means that once again more eyes do get on their game or something, but I do think something will come in February that will take the wind out of their sails. That will be unfortunate. It just seems to be Xbox's luck these days. Like, but yeah,
it'll be GTA or something same day.
Yeah, like it launches like in February. A surprise launch too. But yeah, I've always liked Game Pass because it has such a big range of games. Like I've played so many different types of games in like the last month, and to take it all away, maybe in service of COD, not a win for me personally. So yeah.
Yeah.
Why are we laughing? What is funny?
I don't know. It was just that the Game Pass love bombing. I don't know. Just random out of the blue. Okay. I've always liked Game Pass.
I've always liked Game Pass. I like playing a lot of games.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
You do make a very good
stating
point,
my
James,
opinion.
that Call of Duty doesn't speak to everyone, although it speaks to a lot of people, and Xbox want to make sure that everyone's kind of catered for as much as possible, I suppose, in what's added to Game Pass this year. So, yeah. If you don't like Call of Duty, you get Indiana Jones and the Golden Circle, and you better like it.
Just quickly, Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. I don't know if anyone said that, but I'm keen for that.
Okay.
Very specific
That's like a
audience.
game for a very specific nerdy audience, though, isn't it?
But this one is, just move on.
This one's got jobs.
I think there's like garden.
Yeah, like
flying,
it's more of a
like,
single
you get to
player
water
story
props,
element.
Yeah,
but
it's
in a
got
plane.
quests and stuff.
Hot air balloons.
Sign
Rescue
me up.
piloting.
Got me through COVID.
Hot air balloons.
I think more than that got you through.
It was a 10
personally.
out of 10 from Shannon Grixie.
It
Was
was times 2.
Wow, that's
A rare
that's
10
very
out of 10.
dynamic. Yeah, wow. Speaking of dynamic, EB Games Australia has introduced a new loyalty program called EB World Plus. It is a paid upgrade for your EB World account, $25 for 3 months, $49 for 12 months. That includes double carrots, which is your loyalty points, in case you don't know what that is.
You
don't just get
horse.
You don't get fresh produce if you walk into the shop every month, just so people are clear. It's not literal carrots. 5%
If you
discount
did, maybe I'd sign up.
with the price of groceries. Absolutely. Carrot cake for everyone. Maybe. Anyway, 5% discount on digital currency, 5% extra trade value on top of your already existing trade bonus, and a buy 10, get 1 free benefit for booster packs, pops, clothing, and socks. So like a lot to unpack here. How do we?
This feels like it
feel
happened
about
4
this,
years
I guess?
ago. By the way, I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, it was only in the last 7 days. So, which is why we're talking about it.
Like, there's a lot of things like this, like Woolies rewards. I sign up to that because that's good value. That gets me through.
That's free.
You know, like 10% off a month. No, it's not.
Yeah,
There's 70. It's not. There's a paid tier.
Is there
Really?
Yes.
Is there really?
It's like,
Wow.
yes, it's like $70 a year, and you get like 10% off a shop a month, which you say $40 per shop. It pays for itself very quickly. Nevertheless, this
We've learned
strikes
a
me
bit
as like
today.
this strikes me as a bit of a death rattle.
Yeah.
Like we are on our knees. We need to try and think of a way to make some money. No one's coming through the door. Let's get them in with some sort of battle pass tactics. And I don't think I'm here for it. I wasn't going to EB to start with. So, I mean, look, it's clear a physical is on the way out. And this is just a way to be like, what can we do to stay relevant? And I feel bad for them more than anything. They're trying.
Yeah, this is. Sorry, Ewan. It's a tough one because like I kept trying to add it up in my head and like thinking, oh, it's not that bad of a deal if you buy a lot of trading cards or pops, but then I kept remembering like you had to pay for it to begin with, and that is the hard thing. Yeah, look, like Brody said, I think it's definitely a cash injection, which most companies would take up if they could at the moment. I don't doubt there's a loyal fan base of EB gamers who will take advantage, but yeah, look, I don't know what else they can do in this climate and the dying physical age. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I sort of
I think
feel
it's that bad.
It seems like a way to kind of milk the whales like a little bit more, right? Whales being people that spend like
Are whales being milked generally across the world?
Wait,
I think it's a marketing term, right? Like the people who the people already spending a lot,
kind of generate 90% of the revenue that you get or whatever. And it seems like a way of just getting more money out of them. And to be fair, like maybe if you buy just a stupid amount of Pokemon cards a year, or you buy every pop vinyl that comes out or whatever, and plenty of those people exist, trust me. Like maybe then like there's a value in signing up to this, but yeah, I can't imagine this being like a broad, like a general scale thing. Like, I mean, I've got a Costco membership, but I probably don't use that nearly enough. I feel like you'd really have to kind of actively like make EB your destination if you're shopping in order to kind of get the value out of this.
It's $50, so like people are gonna drop that, get their ramen bowl, and call it a day, and probably never think of it again. To be honest, like it's fine. I think people were really losing their shit over this.
You were like,
yeah, but there'll be another ramen bowl and they can add to their collection, so it'll be fine.
So where did the ramen bowl reference come from? I'm so confused.
You get a ramen bowl.
When you sign up for 12 months, when you sign up for 12 months, you get the bowl as a free gift.
Yeah,
is what the ramen bowl reference is.
I will say,
but there's no ramen
that was the most
bowl,
random.
It's just an empty bowl.
Would that make it better? Like, I don't
bowl.
know if it would.
Obviously, the owners of EB Games have a factory full of fucking ramen somewhere, and they just need
they're EB exclusives.
So, just to double back to Woolies Rewards. So, the extra...
I've been looking at it.
The extra perk, $70 a year, and every month you get 10% off a shop at Woolies and Big W. So if you shop at Woolies and do a $400 shop, bang, $40 a month you save already. It pays for itself after 2 months. And you get double points.
Ramen bowl. No.
And you get freebies. You might get a free ramen bowl just as one of the perks. So look, I recommend don't buy EB Plus, get Woolies Rewards. You heard it here first.
I don't know, just back to it. Like it is
markets.
It's
Everyone owns groceries.
Yeah, true.
It's not the best deal. I think they really shot themselves in the foot by like teasing it as if it was something amazing, and then it leaked, and then it was clearly just a mess from there. Like, I wouldn't have been teasing this as if it was the second coming of fucking Jesus. Like, yeah. But at the same time, like, who cares? Like, if you're not going to get it, just shut up and move on. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I don't think it's predatory or like that over the top crazy. That people needed to be that angry over it.
Going back to what I was saying earlier about the whales, I think you either know if this is for you or not. And if it's not for you, then don't give it a second thought. I just really hope that poor EB Games employees aren't asked to make this a feature of every conversation they have with every customer. It's like, make sure you ask the question. Are you
juggling ramen bowls behind the counter?
You're like, did you know that you can get a pair of socks valued up to $10 for every 10 pairs of socks you buy?
I notice you're buying one pack of Pokemon cards. If you buy another 9,
buy 9 more. You get one free.
People will do it though. Like, you know that you just say yes and you...
With Pokemon cards, maybe. Socks, less so.
I don't think anyone.
I can see this being good.
Shopping at EB is signing up for this. This.
Yeah, I don't. But do you reckon it's? Yeah. Like, I think it's for the people who buy, like, I don't know. I think 7 Deadpool pops just came out for the movie, right? Like, and that's like, there are people who do buy those sets.
They deserve to be taken advantage of, I think.
I mean, yeah, but they can.
Do you mean
they can flip the script? Yeah.
I think Shannon meant catered too. He didn't mean to call them whales.
It's a marketing term. James is right. Thank you for having my back.
Yeah, I'm aware.
James.
Nah, you and everyone has really got their head in the sands there.
Maybe milking them was
anyway.
the wrong term.
Yeah, I don't. Should we do Sony or not? How are we feeling for time?
I think we did a detail.
There's no term milking the whale that I can find on the internet. Sorry.
Nah, there is. Anyway, moving on. Sony Santa Monica is working on a brand new IP. Surprise topic. I didn't mention at the beginning. How exciting. A recent LinkedIn posting has confirmed that an employee has recently joined Sony Santa Monica as a character supervisor. I'll just pause for a sec. Having previously worked on Callisto Protocol and a Subnautica sequel, the employee has essentially confirmed that the studio is working on its first new IP since 2005. Corey Barlog is also still rumoured to be working on a new IP, commenting in 2022 that the studio was spread out on a lot of different things. Do we think this is Corey's new IP?
Yes.
Because I feel like... So do you reckon that's all they're doing now? It's like full speed ahead on that?
I think that could be, I think they could be assisting to get it out the door. And I think God of War needs a break, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see the kind of formula of like the God of War games kind of getting a bit stale with a third, maybe. They're not.
Wouldn't go that far.
No, like Ragnarok was great. Don't get me wrong, but like
milk that whale.
Oh my god, enough.
Like I guess like the shine that was like the kind of reboot of that series is like, you know, it's not worn off by Ragnarok, but it's losing like that. I don't know what I'm saying. It's not losing the momentum necessarily, but it doesn't shine quite so bright the third time around, maybe. I feel like a new IP or different game, different series would kind of be a nice
sure
pace.
We could think of third installments that have been really successful and great, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. But I think it'll
The Witcher
benefit
3.
from having a bit of time before we get that again, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I do agree.
Like, would we all be super excited if a third Horizon game was to come out next year? Like,
no.
Probably not,
don't
right?
they have 2 teams anyway? I thought Santa Monica had 2 teams.
I think the implication was that like there was the Ragnarok team, and then the
Cory
team who made
Barlog's
the
new
first
team.
God of War. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
So, yeah,
concern more
I mean,
so
the
about
idea that
this
they've
is,
got-
like, how far into development of this game are they? If like they're getting someone kind of super.
If it doesn't have characters yet.
Yeah,
maybe
like-
it was started. Maybe it was a puzzle game with no characters. Start off with like just marbles.
Maybe
or
it's
something.
kind of side characters, and they want to kind of
Yeah.
inject some more side missions and stuff into it. I don't know, but
I mean, I feel like Fable's meant to come out next year, but they only just hired like a lead writer like 4 months ago. So like, what's going on? So maybe.
I
things
mean,
just-
if it's their first new IP in 20 years, though, you also could see how they'd want to get it right. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know, they could have maybe just scrapped something and started again at some point. So I feel like Sony would trust Corey in whatever he wanted to do. And they did put out God of War. I know not his specific team, but Santa Monica. But yeah, I hope it. I kind of was thinking we could see it revealed soon, right? Like even if it's still 2 years away. I know Sony's kind of moved away from that, but yeah, I think we'll see this soon.
and Ragnarok's coming out on PC the end of this year, right? As well, it's like as far as the money that studio is earning, I don't think PlayStation's gonna have any qualms.
next month for the PC.
I guess the reason why I'd be like, when is this game coming out, is really because I want to play it, and for sure Corey's kind of earned that goodwill that like no matter what he touches now, like I'm eager to sort of play it. And yeah, new IP. I think like what he achieved with like the reboot of God of War's quite incredible, but he was still dealing with like all the baggage of like what that world and that character sort of had. But to see kind of all of those shackles, for lack of a better term, kind of removed and just have total free reign with it, is pretty exciting.
It'll be weird, I think, seeing this studio work on something that isn't God of War.
Yeah,
But yeah.
like what, first in 20 years, right? Is that what you said? Yeah,
I think so.
that is nuts.
It's been a while. Hopefully it's good.
It has.
I'm sure it will. Rapid fire. I don't know how this will go because I don't know how everyone feels about this series. But over the weekend, THQ have announced that a new Darksiders game is coming. Darksiders games have already ripped off Zelda and Dark Souls and Diablo so far. So what do we feel is next for Darksiders?
Question with that notice.
What do you want from Darksiders, I guess?
When have we ever got a resolution to like the first game's cliffhanger yet?
What was that? I can't
Like,
remember.
didn't it end with like him in front of the council and then like the other horsemen coming down?
No, I think every game since then
Has, like, led to that
built up
point.
to that moment, but from the other horsemen. Like, so
Or did
we're
we lose
actually
James?
at
I
the
thought it
point
was
now
me.
where they're all together.
Oh wait, is he back?
Oh no!
Oh,
The face as well.
Hello.
We're in suspense,
Hello?
just like
Are we
everyone
back?
after the end of the
There
first
we go.
Darksiders game.
yeah, please say again. I
Okay.
missed you.
No, that's
Every other
okay.
game leads up to that point, doesn't it?
Basically, yeah, from the perspective of each of the.
So I would
horsemen.
like to
So
see a
I think-
continuation of that. Finally, give us what we want, but go back to like what Darksiders 1 was, because that was peak. I think.
Yeah, when it was trying to be like Zelda, the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah. The only Zelda game I'll play is Darksiders.
I don't know how I feel about that, but it's kind of funny because back in the day it was like the dream to have this like 4-player co-op team-based Darksiders game, and then because so much time has passed now, that idea repulses me. So like I don't know, like you know, it just
They
shows how
spent this
important it
whole
is to like
time making that
stick
game
with
for you,
trends.
James.
Yeah, literally. So like if that's where they're going, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this list, having not played a Darksiders game, I'm assuming it's either going to be like a karting game or a battle royale.
Oh yeah,
kind
of that will do really. That would go down well.
Theft Auto. Yeah,
that'd go down like a lead balloon.
The only Darksiders game I played is the Wii U one. Was that 3? The one that came out with the Wii U.
That was 2.
Must have been 2, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was 2. But I can't say I've thought about this franchise in the last 5 years.
Someone is. It's nice to know, I guess.
THQ need a win. Hopefully this is it.
Wasn't SpongeBob good for them or not?
I don't think
they're
so.
doing another one, aren't they? I thought they were doing another one. I'd heard.
Was that Cosmic Shake? Was that
the last one?
Oh, that was the fresh one. Yeah.
I thought they were doing a new one.
Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
That was good. That was bad.
Editions do you think they sold?
At 25% of the price, all of them. When they went on clearance,
they're flying off the shelves like ramen.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. What the Wiki? It's time for another fun game. What the Wiki is the Press Start podcast game show where the previous week's winner reads part of a Wikipedia page for an unknown game and the contestant must guess the game. A point is awarded for each correct guess and the round ends after one person scores 2 points. As last week's winner, Shannon is in the hosting chair today. It's always a good round when Shannon hosts. Yeah, I'm winning as still on 26 points. Shannon on 22, Ewan on 21, Brody on 16, Kieran on 10, and Harry on 5. So, yeah, let's see how we go. Is everyone ready?
Hopefully Shannon has made this easy for Brody and myself so we can catch up to James.
It's a pretty even round, I'd say.
I've got a ways to go.
Time. The game is a 2011 action-adventure game set in 1947 Los Angeles.
James.
Brody.
Oh.
Yes, James.
Is it L.A. Noire?
It is L.A. Noire. Well done, James. All right, I only, for some reason, did that one. But like, I have them all, I just didn't add any.
Well, you did one game for What the Wiki.
So when we all asked if you were ready at the start of the show, and you went, yes.
You're like, yes. And I'm sitting on one game.
Let me start somewhere else. Where can I start to make this a bit more interesting in this one? The game was announced in 2009 with a planned release in 2011. It suffered numerous delays with key members departing the publisher. The game was reintroduced in 2015, and upon release, it received praise for its art direction, story, and depiction of the main character, though some criticized the gameplay. Like its predecessors, the game is a third-person game that combines action, adventure, and puzzle elements.
Brody.
Yes, Brody.
Is it The Last Guardian?
It is The Last Guardian. Well done, Brody. That was dynamic. I was just here, there, everywhere.
What I was imagining you doing is like reading a sentence and then reading the next sentence in your head, going, "That might reveal it." Like,
and then just jumping
and trying to not say the game name, but at the same time,
the game was released by third-person gameplay.
All right, let's do that again.
Last Guardian.
Stitch up.
The game was announced at E3 2005 in June for the next generation of consoles and PCs and was shown to the press behind closed doors in the form of a tech demo. The developer also used this demo to gain publisher interest, and by 2006...
I'm taking a punt. Is this Heavy Rain?
It's not. You're back in.
Thank you.
Because as a lifeline.
Or can we take 3 guesses?
By 2006, the developer announced that they had partnered with Microsoft Game Studios to publish the game exclusively for Microsoft's Xbox 360 video game console and the
James.
Windows Vista. Yes, James.
Windows Vista.
Oh no.
No. Oh,
It's backing out.
is it too human?
It's not, but
No.
that was there on the list of games that I could have picked from.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
How long have we got in the sentence before James can come back in?
Look, I'm kind of just... That is the end of the sentence, to be
fuck's
honest. The developer continued to struggle with merging the open-world survival gameplay and story, now further complicated with Microsoft's involvement.
James.
Settle down.
James.
You've got it, James. Relax.
Is it Alan Wake?
It is Alan Wake. Well done, James. Does anyone know the theme? I think you do, James, maybe. Maybe you don't.
What were the games again?
Is this to do with achievements?
No.
Alan Wake, The Last Guardian, and L.A. Noire.
Games that were like fucked. They just took
Trouble development.
They were all in the top 10 longest delayed games of all time at 7 years, 9 years, and 6 years from.
Oh, wow.
I
What
think
was
their
number
original
1
release.
on that list?
Duke Nukem Forever.
Was it Last Guardian?
Surely.
Beyond Good and Evil 2, wouldn't it be?
Oh,
now.
that's a good shout.
Nah, I think they were all games that had come out.
Oh. It would have been, yeah. I think Beyond Good and Evil now is like the longest.
The Last Guardian, I think, was 9 years. So I think.
Are we talking about just development time or like?
I think development time, yeah, from announced to release.
Duke Nukem Forever is
And
like
then
fucking
eventually-
almost 20 years or something.
Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake as well.
Yeah, that would be there
That's coming-
one
that's coming
day.
in 2026,
if it comes
baby.
out, though.
What about Hollow Knight? Where are we at with Hollow Knight?
Oh yeah, Silk Song.
Duke Nukem Forever
feel
was
like
in
that's-
development for 14 years.
Yeah, BGE 2 is more now, I think.
You're probably right. When was that announced?
Big.
Like 2006 or 7?
On that note, this is...
Yeah, okay, cool, sorry. So on that note, let's bring an end to this week's episode of the Press Start podcast. Subscribe to us on Listener or the podcast service of your choice, and follow us at PressStartAU or visit the site at pressstart.com.au. We've been joined today by Bruce Shannon.
Bruschetta.
Yes, thanks for having me. You can follow me at Shannon Grixie on socials.
Bruschetta.
Brody.
Thanks. Apparently, yeah, it's 2022. It overtook Duke Nukem, so there you go. It's 17 years now.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can follow me on most things at Brody_DG.
Ewan.
Oh, I don't get like a Bruin or something like that. I don't get some.
Milking the whale.
What about
You can follow me on socials at UN_Roxbro.
And I've been your host, James, and you can follow me on X at Jams, ATJAMZ. Thanks again for tuning in, and until next time, happy gaming.
Bye.
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 Bye.